This just proves that things are about to take a huge shift for the San Antonio Spurs, as Giannis Antetokounmpo has recently spoke about the odds of him being traded from the Bucks, and with the Spurs being the team most closely linked for ages now to the Bucks superstar, we got to dive into what he said and how San Antonio can make this a part of the future, as we are on the heels ready to go into this next season, Keenan, with so many Spurs players being hyped up like crazy. ESPN featuring multiple Spurs on their top 100 list, 4 of them. But I gotta be honest, a few of them are a lot lower than we expected, but there's one that has snuck into the elite category. That plus some talk about Dylan Harper, a lot of great stuff, all coming up on this live episode of Spurs Digest. Keenan, it's great to see you again. It's great to be back doing these Thursday lives. We want these to become consistent. And hey, if you want to see more Thursday live streams, more live streams of Spurs Digest, leave it in the chat. Keenan, how you doing, man? We're like about a week away from Spurs basketball. I cannot wait.
It's every single day I wake up and I'm like, wait, we're a day closer to the Spurs starting. I couldn't be more excited for it. I am pumped right now. The season is going to be electric, and I'm excited for it.
Oh, man. Like, it's electric is, I think, putting it lightly. I mean, I know you guys in the chat, all of you that are here already, we got 12 people in here already. Like this stream, share it with your friends and family. We got a lot to talk about because we are so pumped up about this season for the Spurs. We're bringing the energy to you. It's been a tough off season, like pretty dead in all things considered, but we're ready to get things going again, Keenan. And you know what? Let's start with one of the more controversial things. We see Noah in there. We see RR210TX. We got Jelly Bean Josh. What's good? Go Spurs, go. Hello to everyone. Let's get into this ESPN Top 100. Now, this is some stuff that we've done some videos on. I talked about Castle. I talked about some other stuff. And my video was titled, They Just Don't Get It. Because let's be honest, they just don't. I mean, look. I even talked to some of the folks at Grizzlies Digest. Shout out to Tristan and Jared over at Grizzlies Digest. And you know what? Even though they're a Southwest Division rival, Keenan, they agreed. What on earth is Stephon Castle doing at 99? 11 spots below Zach Edey, the Rookie of the Year, outdoing another rookie. I don't even know, by 11 spots below Edey. Ridiculous. But this is the first thing I wanted to dive into here. Castle and Vassell, 94 and 99. You in the chat, let us know, how are you feeling about these two? Should they be higher or lower? Keenan, again, like Stephon Castle, yeah, the numbers maybe weren't like, oh my god, eye-poppingly crazy, but the guys around him that were ranked better than him, to me, is crazy. I think it's, again, look, Wemby got some love that we'll get into a little bit later, but some of these other Spurs guys, I think other teams that just didn't watch a struggling Spurs team last year, I'm just saying, I don't think they get it. I don't think they're ready to see what Stephon Castle is about to do this upcoming season.
Stephon Castle most likely will make the biggest jump from this year's list to next year's list, because there's a chance he could easily find his way within the top 50. Like right now, I would say he's a top 75 guy, and that's
all time.
I would
right?
say that I would say he's around a top 75 guy. If you want to put him in the 80s, sure. There are not 98 better players than, if you were to do a draft today on just going for next season, there is not a chance that 98 players would go off the board. You wouldn't go through the NBA 3 times over and then some in the 4th round. Like, yeah, we'll now take Castle. He would easily be going in the 3rd round, and I think it'd be mid-3rd round. He is better than 99. This man can play defense. We saw the way he was playmaking towards the back half of last season when you were able to get the ball in his hands. He can get downhill. He's a freak athlete, and he's only going to go up from here. The jump shot's looking more clean over the offseason. Stephon Castle will grow into even a much better player than we saw last year, and last year he was the Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, exactly. And you know what? Again, I think so many things we're going to talk about today fit the theme of this video about, like, things are about to take a huge shift for the Spurs. And I think, like, yeah, obviously it starts with Wemby and Fox, but, like, if you're looking at X factors for this team, I mean, one guy is this guy in my sweater, but the other guy is Stephon Castle, because we know, again, what he's capable of. And this guy, after a full year of NBA experience, he was one of the better guys in the entire NBA at getting to the rim, and he still didn't even, like, he got some foul calls. He was up there in, like, fouls called on drives. But you know what's the crazy thing? I feel like every single game we were saying, man, he's not getting that, like, star level whistle. Because of course he's not. He's a rookie. That's just how things work. Fortunate, unfortunate, whatever. It's just, it is the way it is. But even despite that, even despite not getting, at least in Spurs fans' eyes, a favorable whistle at the rim, Stephon Castle was up there in terms of free throws attempted per drive. Like, this guy is a very good slasher. Yes, he has a weakness in terms of his three-point percentage, but in an offense that, you know, I'll admit is not very spacious, I guess I should say, Stephon Castle is still going to be able to create so much on the drive because of the gravity of the other players, like Fox commanding a double team, Wemby commanding a double team. First off, it'll give Castle more open looks for threes, which I think he got better at as the year went on, but it will also open up some driving lanes because people know they can't necessarily sag off of other guys. There'll be chaos getting created everywhere, and I think that is one of these things. That 4 assists a game, even with Fox coming in, Keenan, I think Castle will profit off of Wemby and Fox's gravity, and hey, maybe some shooters like Barnes or Champagny, whoever's out there, to be able to create more for his teammates and even himself. And I just think it's kind of a perfect storm for a guy like him, especially if he takes even a minor leap in his jump shooting.
I think the leap is coming in his jump shooting, and the fact of the matter is he's going to have so much offensive talent around him, as you said. Fox can get you 25 a game. We've seen him do it. Wemby can get you 25 a game easy, get you close to 30. We've seen him do it. You have these guys. Dylan Harper's going to come in and be able to orchestrate an offense. Then you've got Julian Champagny, shooter. Harrison Barnes, shooter. We'll see if Jeremy Sochan made himself into a shooter. You have to remember Kelly Olynyk coming off of the bench. You still have Devin Vassell. You still have Keldon Johnson. Like, there's so much offensive potential on this roster to where Stephon Castle can just literally sit back and allow himself to become within the flow of the offense and be a lethal playmaker off of that, whether it is shooting hopefully 34% or better from 3. If he gets to 34%, it might be night for people. But just there's so much possibility and capabilities with this roster way it's constructed. Castle's going to be the X factor for it. I think he's going to have a bounce back. I think he's going to have a great year. He's going to bounce up from that 99th spot, which I think is ridiculous.
Yeah, and like I get it too. It's like, okay, yeah, you can anticipate a breakout, but like objectively really inefficient. Fair enough. I mean, yeah, he was inefficient, but like a good defender. It's like there were some people above him. Again, like, do you really put Nickeil Alexander-Walker ahead of him? Why did they put him ahead? Because he's a great defender as well, but he played on a better team that went further, and he played a pivotal role on that team in the playoffs. It's like, okay, right? Like, I understand valuing playoffs, but again, if we're looking at projection for this year, that's where I kind of tend to disagree. It's like, I think Castle's going to be way more impactful to the Spurs than Nickeil Alexander-Walker will be to the Hawks, which I do think it was still a great, I think nothing against Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Love the guy. I think he's going to do great in Atlanta, but yeah, absolutely. I think Castle should be higher. And we got Ronnie in chat saying Castle should be way higher. We got God did saying, let's go. Can't wait for some NBA. Yeah, absolutely. I think we're so excited. And we got a poll up in chat. I think we only had a couple votes on that one. We'll let that one go. Should Castle be higher than 99th? We got 11 people voting on it. 100%. Yes. I mean, look, again, small sample, whatever. Hey, make sure you're voting in these polls because we're going to have a lot more coming up. But yeah, absolutely. Higher than 99th for sure. But you mentioned another guy there, and a guy that really will change this Spurs offense for the better this year while being fully healthy, and that is Devin Vassell. Because Devin Vassell came in at 94th, and to be fair to ESPN, he was not ranked in the top 100 last year. So he did move up in terms of his all-NBA rankings, and I like that too because, again, it was not a great year for him. And his spot, I think I can understand a little more. He still was maybe more efficient, right? 37% from 3, which is really not bad. I feel like in my head he shot 34%, but he didn't. He shot 37% from 3, 44% on corner threes, 44% from the field, averaged 16 and 4 on a bum foot. Like, he was not fully healthy. And this is another guy, Keenan, if we're talking about the shift from, out of the playoffs to a play-in or playoff team this year, I'm pretty confident in saying we're going to be fighting for a playoff spot for sure.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like Devin Vassell plays a key role in that. And I know it's very easy to look at the salary cap structure and say Devin Vassell is so expendable. And I would tend to agree. We've talked about this a lot on the show because $27 million, that's a nice price point to move him along with someone else for a big start. Giannis, we'll get into that a little bit later. But Vassell himself, Keenan, 94th, I think that's understandable from ESPN's perspective, especially with Fox coming in. He might not get as many touches, might not get as many minutes, again, with other guys like Harper and even Carter Bryant trying to sneak into the rotation. But this is a guy that's legit capable of putting up 20 points per game on above league average 3-point shooting. And reasonable field goal percentage. This is a guy that every team would want to be their kind of third, fourth option. He's not the kind of guy you'd want as your second option. He could probably put up 23, 24 a night if he was given the shots. But I feel like his role in San Antonio is kind of perfect. And I think this is the season that we see Devin Vassell come out and really put on a $27 million performance at his role that we're expecting, which is like third or fourth option, depending on the night. How you feeling about that? I think he's going to prove to be higher than 94th, but I kind of understand it in a way.
I'm fine with the ranking of him being 94th. I also think that his value is going to be higher than 94th this season if he plays to what he should. He has the potential to shoot. He shot 37% from three last year. He can easily shoot the 38 to 39. Like, he is that guy who, shooting wise. And he's going to get easier looks this year than he's going to get than he got last year, because you'll have a full Fox, a full Harper, a full Wemby, and not just like sprinkles of that. And he's had a full offseason to be healthy, not coming in rehabbing off of a foot, not being able to get all the work in. So I think that Vassell is going to be a guy who should buy in defensively. When he buys himself in defensively, he will be one of the better third options in the league. There's no reason why we look at Austin Reeves as like the third option, and those guys like that, like a 20-point per game scorer, but he's not even really that good defensively.
No.
But he can shoot, he can kind of play make, but he can score for sure. There's no reason why Devin Vassell can't mimic the production that Austin Reeves was able to do last year with the Lakers, plus give you more on the defensive end.
Yeah, 100%. And again, like they mentioned that too, is like, I feel like Devin Vassell is a theoretical two-way player. And again, I've seen, like, look, I've seen Devin Vassell be locked in defensively. And it's possible, and I don't think it's all mental, but I think some of it is. Look, it's hard for me to judge whether it's mental or not on an NBA player who is like a guy who can score 20 points per night, right? But at the same time, like Devin Vassell, when I think there's less offensive pressure on him, which is really going to be the case this year, I think that just opens up a big door to say, okay, you can put more of your effort into defense, right? There's so many guys that you can't expect them to be elite on both sides of the ball every single night. There are very, very few players in the NBA today that really can do that. I mean, again, Kawhi Leonard was always one of those guys. I just wanted to say his name. You're just saying his name, I think, brings out some people's opinions. But Devin
really
Vassell, like, yeah, I think for him, like, if you're the third, fourth option, again, maybe Castle's having a good night. You have so many guys that could be having good nights. If you're like on average the third option and you're expected to put up between 16 and 18 points per game on good 3-point shooting, I think you can afford to, like, you know, give a bit more in the defensive end sometimes. And he reads defenses pretty well, or I should say reads offensive pretty well. He can jump in, get some steals. Again, last year he averaged 1.5 steals per game. I think he's capable of getting up to like 1.6, 1.7 if he's put in the right spot. Not to mention, Keenan, I think he's a decent on-ball defender as well. And so when it comes to that, again, like that impact, I think that what Devin Vassell can be when healthy, while not having to have the offensive output I think the Spurs have wanted from him in past years, I think it's just going to all come together, and we're going to start looking at a guy who's going to take a tick up in efficiency, a tick up in defense, and we're going to start saying, wait a minute, this is the ideal role for Devin Vassell. At least that's what I'm envisioning at the moment.
He averaged 16 last year. I could see him averaging 15 this year and being a better player. Like he averaging 15, 5, and 3, say 5 rebounds, 3 assists, but shooting 47% from the floor, shooting 39% from 3, and being one of the more impactful players. The thing with Vassell too is the way the rotations are going to work. He's going to see time with Dylan Harper, and there's going to be points where he is going to be one of the main focal points offensively in lineups. Just going to happen. You can see with the talent that we have, we can sit Wemby and we can sit this guy here, Fox.
Oh, yeah.
We can sit Wemby and Fox. And when we sit Wemby and Fox, we still have the talent to be, okay, we got Cornette to roam the paint. We got Sochan to be athletic. We've got Dylan Harper to kind of run the show. And then we have Devin Vassell to be that stabilizing offensive force to where you can have multiple possessions go through Devin Vassell. So there will be points where he can score. There'll be points where he will be needed to score and will be asked to score. But then defensively, he will be able to uptick there. I think we're about to see a very locked-in Devin Vassell, because I also do think the Spurs pay attention to some of the hoopla. They don't make a noise of it, make note of it, but bulletin board in a corner, like, oh, we see this, we see this, we see this, and they're ready to kind of prove people wrong silently.
Yeah, 100%. And you know what? That's what we're always ready to do. We got so many players that are capable of doing it. I want to see your guys' chats there in the chat. Let us know what you're feeling about Castle and Vassell. Do you agree with our assessment? Because I think they both should be higher. We'll end the poll on Devin Vassell. And you know what? It's pretty split down the middle. Of all the people that voted, we only had 7 votes on that Vassell one, but 4 people said he shouldn't be higher than 94. 3 people said he should be. So I think that's interesting. I think the overall opinion of Devin Vassell is maybe more negative than we're painting it as. and maybe we're wrong. We'd love to hear from you down in the comment section if you're watching this after, or in the live chat right now. We got 35 people in here. Let's, again, share it with your family, friends, guys. This is going to be something that's coming a lot. We're going to try and do some post-games. Live streams are going to be a big part of Spurs Digest, and hey, channel memberships are going to be a big part of that too. If you want to show your extra support for us, again, we don't expect that from any of you. Channel memberships are live on the channel. You get a custom badge in the live stream chat, and we will priority answer your messages. Keenan, we've had some streams with a couple hundred people in it. The chat gets nuts. So, we got a lot of people who are, thank you all for even being here and supporting us. And you know what? We're going to get into the next stuff now, because this is the juicy part. We're getting into part of the ESPN rankings that is higher than 50, because we had 94, we had 99, but it was a bit of a gap before we saw anyone else. I was waiting myself to see where Luke Cornett would land, but unfortunately he couldn't crack the top 100 this year. You know who did though?
Next year we got Jeremy Sochan on the list. Don't worry about it.
Woo! Yeah, you know what? Hey, I think that's a really interesting one, especially if the defense takes a step up. I really love the idea of Sochan on there, but let's talk about the boy on your shirt, Keenan. Again, we're going to get into these shirts in a bit. That's De'Aaron Fox. Look at that beautiful shirt. De'Aaron Fox, 35th. And, on the surface, I just look, I'm biased. I think you're biased too. I think we see Fox at 35th. We're like, he got to be higher, right? He's got to be higher. Mm-hmm. I looked at the names around him, and I think it's like at least kind of reasonable. It's a bit weird because he's like just ahead of guys like Amen Thompson and Darius Garland, but he's below guys like Domantas Sabonis. So I'm like, okay, I kind of get it. But I still think he's getting undersold. And again, we'll get the chat's opinion on this. But 35th, Keenan, De'Aaron Fox, this is, if you had to pick one X factor between success, success based on our expectations and not, De'Aaron Fox is the guy that it comes down to, and his chemistry with Victor Wembanyama and the rest of the team. Because, let's be honest, there's been a lot of criticism about his contract. There's been a lot of skepticism about the fit between him, Stephon Castle, Dylan Harper, all in the backcourt, and the rest of a Spurs team that really does lack spacing. It's been a very common theme this offseason, a common theme when talking about what we're looking at for the Spurs going forward. So, De'Aaron Fox coming in at 35th, I think is reasonable. I think he could be a bit higher, but regardless, having 2 Spurs in the top 35 is good. Having 4 in the top 100 is even better. How you feeling about how ESPN is viewing De'Aaron Fox? Because I honestly think some fans might be on board with this. Like 35th, there's so much positivity, so much negativity. I think they kind of split the difference and are like, let's put him there and maybe stay like not controversial.
I am fine with the ranking. You have people like John Morant who are at 33. Yeah. You have Trae Young, who's around 29. So you have those style of players who are right there. I think that's the class. Those are the next point guards. That's the class De'Aaron Fox is in right now. Mm-hmm. I think you're kind of having conversations about what do you value more. I think when it comes to winning, you could value maybe Fox a little bit more than Trae Young in certain aspects of it. But when you're also adding leading a franchise, you could say maybe Trae Young has better of that than De'Aaron Fox. He did get to a conference finals. So there's debates on both sides of it for there. So I'm fine where they had Fox. I think by the end of the year, he will be able to creep into that top 25, top 25-ish, roughly around there. Like, I think that's where his pinnacle can get to, about the roughly anywhere between 21 and 25-ish for this year. I love the fact that he is going to be an X factor. He's important, but he's like not an X factor, but he is an X factor because like really the contract that we gave De'Aaron Fox, now it's like, okay, we got to go improve what we're doing out there. I like what we have with Fox, and I like where we are with him.
Yeah, I tend to agree. And I think, again, some fans might agree, some fans might not agree. But, like, at the end of the day, we got him now, and it's a matter of making this fit. Like, I feel like that's almost, not lost, but, like, it's not as much of a conversation of, like, how do the Spurs make this work between him and Wemby? How do you make it work? Mm-hmm. You fill it in with shooters. Does that need to happen today? No, there has been a bit of a sense of urgency. Again, we wouldn't have made the trade for De'Aaron Fox last year if there wasn't at least a little bit of a sense of urgency to just maximize every minute of Victor Wembanyama's career. I totally get that. But I think like even as soon as early this season, Keenan, if we start seeing shooting woes play a role in this team's maybe lack of success compared to expectations, it would not shock me if Brian Wright or RC Buford would go out there and be like, listen, let's make a move today to try and bring in some more shooting, right? Or maybe let's shove Champagny in the lineup or something. I don't know. Move everyone over, like Harrison Barnes, and then maybe you take Harper and Castle off the bench. You're not going to do that. I'm just throwing out crazy ideas, right? Like you're going to want to try and tweak things until something works. So again, there's been a lot of talk about the Spurs making a trade. I mean, big stuff recently. Kevin O'Connor saying, look, I think a big trade is coming for many of the same reasons that I'm outlining right now. And he said Lauri Markkanen. I still think that's a bad idea. I know a lot of you have watched that video. You guys all know Lauri Markkanen, I think, is a terrible idea to be your third option making $50 million. But that archetype, I feel like you can't deny, fits the team, right? But with De'Aaron Fox, again, he is the X factor. So it's really interesting. But I want to get into the chat here now, Keenan, because we got a lot of people in the chat. We got Santos, we got Craig, we got Armando, we got Hotline Bling is a good song. Is it? I mean, is it good? Would you consider it good? It's catchy. Is it good? What do you think?
I think that I haven't thought of Hotline Bling since 2015-16. I think it's a catchy song. Good. I think Drake has probably 40 more songs better than that, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah. Okay. Leave your thoughts in chat. I mean, sorry to single you out, but I'm also not sorry. By the way, 5 people of the 6 who voted said Fox should be higher than 35th, which I like. Again, the positivity is showing in this chat. That's what we love to bring to Spurs Nation. That positivity, that upbeat energy. We know you guys deserve it. We know you guys are passionate because we are too, as you can tell. Like, well, we're ready to bring it when it comes to the Spurs. But, oh yeah. I want to get into the chat here. We got Santos saying everyone's sleeping on the Spurs. I'm just gonna sit back and enjoy the show. Hotline Bling saying in Wemby we trust, and I think that's pretty much how we're feeling, right, Keenan? Like, no matter all the doubt, no matter how much they're ranking our players lower, and we will get to Wemby, we will get to Giannis in just a few minutes, I promise you. But like, this is the thing. Like, I feel like as Spurs fans, we can just wait and bask in this dude's like amazingness, right? And watch what Wemby can do. And all we can do is sit back and watch. And that's all we need to do. And we're going to enjoy it because, like, we honestly don't know. To a large extent, we don't know what this lineup is going to do once they're at full strength this season. We don't know what this year of Wemby is going to look like compared to the rest of his career. We don't know how well Fox is going to fit. Are there doubters? Yes. But there's so many good young players on this team, Keenan, that all we can do is just sit back and watch what happens and adjust from there. And that's maybe what I love most about this upcoming season is, like, I have expectations, but I also just need to sit back and say, let me just watch the magic that's about to unfold.
We're going to be able to watch a lot of magic. We're going to see this team, I believe, click early. We've talked about this on a prior live, actually. They have a light schedule to start off. They play Dallas game 1. That's going to be a more difficult, interesting Cooper Flag versus Dylan Harper, Cooper Flag versus Wemby. Like, I think that's going to be interesting. But then you get the Pelicans, the Brooklyn Nets, Toronto, Miami, Phoenix. I think the Spurs have a good chance to start off 5-2 and us be really optimistic. I don't think we're going to get a real test on what the Spurs are until about December. Once we get to December, we'll understand what aspects of this team need to alter, need to change. And I think the Spurs will have at that point be like, okay, this is working, this is not working. We've tried certain lineups with certain combinations. We either need this, we don't need this. This is better, this is worse than expected. But yeah, I'm excited.
Oh, me too. I mean, look at that. We got Kokushibo saying, man, they really aren't ready for us. Hotline Bling. Hey, look, you said in your username. Yeah, we had to bring it up. Sorry about that. Not sorry. Look, he sent a heart. Love it. Love that username, to be honest. But yeah, there's so many questions. We got Craig coming in too with all the playmakers we got now. Thank you for the chat, Craig. Anyone who's chatting, we're trying to answer every single one of them. So thank you all for being here. Craig saying, with all the playmakers we got now, Vassell's going to blow up his 3-point percentage. He doesn't have to create as much anymore. Just take the open threes when he gets them. And I think that's bang on. It's exactly what we've been saying, Keenan. I mean, Devin Vassell, this dude, like, historically, over the past few years, not this past season as much, literally, I'm pretty sure, like, one of the best in terms of corner 3-point percentage in the NBA. And what's kind of three is going to be opened up more than ever this season for the Spurs? It's the corner 3 because of the gravity, again, of Wemby in the paint or wherever he is, let's be honest, and De'Aaron Fox and Castle crashing the rim. So Vassell is going to have more open looks than he ever has in his career, and without the need to play make as much, I'd say, with the ball in his hands for him, there's just going to be so much of an opportunity for him offensively. And again, I think that does transition to defense. So I think Craig is bang on, Keenan. I think it's just another reason that, like, you know, I think the shooting woes in this team, while still, yes, a concern, are going to be less so because of how the floor opens up so much. And I truly believe the quality of our 3-point percentage or our 3-point shots will take a significant jump this year, which, hey, who knows if it'll completely quell the concerns, but I think it will make a big difference.
We have legitimate shooters sprinkled in with other people who are capable shooters.
Mm-hmm.
Kelly Olynyk is a legitimate shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison Barnes is a legitimate shooter. Julian Champagnie is a legitimate shooter. Like, I understand that Champagnie has been streaky, but really, like, the basis of what he is a shooter.
Mm-hmm.
Fox is a capable shooter. Wemby is, I would, between capable and legitimate. Like, he is, like, right there. Like, he's 35% last year.
He took, like, almost 10 threes a game, brother.
I was about to say, but I also have to think that those threes, he was taking step backs from 28. So, like, but, like, Wemby's a very good shooter. Like, don't get me, like, Wemby's a very good shooter. So, you're going to get opportunities in situations where when Fox really gets downhill, that corner three will open up. You have the swing kick. You'll see a lot of those old school Spurs possessions where it was like, okay, we get a good shot, then good shot to a great shot. Mm-hmm. You're going to see a lot of those with the Spurs this year. I think this team is really going to start to mimic some of those older Spurs teams that we really love because there are so many players that can get it done.
Absolutely. And you know what, Keenan? Speaking of getting it done, well, I'm super happy to announce this. We got our first ever channel member on the channel, and who better than Wemby's Castle? Welcome to Club Popovich, our tier of channel membership. Wemby's Castle, if you're chatting now, you get priority responses from us in our videos, in our live streams. Thank you for being here and for supporting us. Seriously, like, that means the world that you're willing to do that.
100% appreciate it.
The first ever member, I'm never going to forget it, Keenan. It's Wemby's Castle. I want everyone in chat right now to leave some love for Wemby's Castle. For this is an incredible achievement. We just launched these. Our first stream since launching them. We got Wemby's Castle in here. And the first comment from Wemby's Castle since being a member, Kelly Olynyk is a shooter. Yes, he is. And I think that's also a big thing. Just like you said, Keenan. Thank you so much. First ever, let's go. Leave some hype in the chat, everyone. Thank you so much. This is unbelievable. But yeah, Kelly Olynyk is a big thing too. This dude, Kelly Olynyk, can shoot 40% from three. No joke.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Kelly is so good. And again, we talk about the 3-point attempts that we're going to get. This dude can shoot from deep. So anyway, that's all to say, like, I think we can really manipulate our lineups very well, where you can even like you could run a shooting lineup, like whoever you want at the point. I mean, you could even run Fox. Like, again, at his best, he's above a league average 3-point shooter. You could run Fox with like Champagnie, Vassell, Barnes, and Olynyk if you want Wemby on the bench, and you just got shooting, or Wemby at the 4, Olynyk at the 5, or those two guys in the front court with
Barnes and Vassell, and
Vassell.
Then Harper.
Yeah, something like that, right? Or even you go like point Wemby and you just stick Champagnie at the 1 because why not? Like, I don't really want him guarding other point guards, let's be honest, but like, still, there's so many options there, and I think, yeah, again, thank you to Wemby's Castle for that, but again, so amazing that I think, like, again, those shooting woes, that narrative's gonna shift, Keenan. I think it's gonna shift pretty early in the season. I don't think it's ever gonna die. I do think we need to improve it. I don't think it's something we need to ignore. Don't get me wrong, but I do think it's going to look a little better than we thought because, again, that Olynyk move I think is maybe a subtle one that'll look even better.
If our shooting was a C last year, people feel like it's a C plus. I think it's about a B minus ish, if roughly. So it's gonna be better than expected. We definitely could upgrade to that aspect of getting like, so we're at least a B plus shooting wise, and then we'll be like, okay, now this team's scary. Now this team's scary.
Yeah, absolutely. And look again, you're talking scary. Like Wemby, I've been looking at samples of like his season. I did a video on that, and like there was a stretch of like 9 games or something, or 8 games, where he was shooting like 41% from 3 on almost 10 attempts a game while averaging 29 points and 5 blocks. And it's like, these are just stretches now, but that could become the norm later. Like, anyway, it's so insane to think that Wemby could be a legit, like, near 40% 3-point shooter. There's a reason we got him to just fire up those threes so early, right? And it's going to pay off huge. But hey, you know what? Oh my goodness, we got a donation from Wemby's Castle as well. Top supporter here today. Look at that super chat animation. I love this animation. I hope you guys do too. It's awesome. Wemby, we got
I love it.
Yeah, it's so great. Super chat, $2. Thank you so much, Wemby's Castle. Never forget, Bryant is a shooter. I know SL didn't show it. You know what? I think Summer League kind of did show it though, Keenan, because Carter Bryant, look, making or missing the shots in the sample size of Summer League, I'm not as concerned about. We saw him in open gyms and he was doing fine. I know that doesn't mean anything, but like he was confident, his stroke looked smooth, and he was able to get his shot off against some pretty good competition. That's what I'm looking for most from a guy like Carter Bryant, who is going to be very impactful for the San Antonio Spurs, even if not this year, but maybe next year. Carter Bryant shooting is going to be something that is going to be very important, obviously, but he did it in college. His stroke looks good. His percentage, I think, is just going to go up as he learns to kind of catch and shoot, get in the rhythm at the NBA speed, because he's going to get, like, the thing is, when you get to the NBA, you get the best looks of your life, especially when you're playing with guys like Wemby and Fox, right? And I think Carter Bryant's three-point shooting is going to be great. So shout out as well to Wemby's Castle for that super chat. How are you feeling about Carter Bryant's impact?
The archetype for Carter Bryant's the perfect 3-and-D player.
Yeah.
Like that's what he is going to be if everything goes well, which everything should go well. He is with a great organization. He doesn't have to come in instantaneously and be impactful, but he can be impactful if necessary. Like we have Harrison Barnes here already who can teach him, show him the ropes. We have Jeremy Sochan here. We already talked about Rashard Lewis being a part of the staff, being able to help him there. Like there are just so many aspects to Carter Bryant's game that I think could elevate because of the infrastructure of the San Antonio Spurs, and that 3-and-D archetype in 2 years when he's still on a rookie deal and we're like, oh, what are we going to do financially? It's like, oh, he's playing 26 minutes a game and he's guarding your best player and then he's shooting 36% from three. Basically, we're looking at what the Thunder have done and elevating all of these guys that they see, and you're like, oh, there's no reason why we cannot have that same kind of mold with the talent we have. Obviously, built a little different at the top, but still a lot of players off the bench who can do 3-and-D and athleticism.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look at that 28-29. Imagine like 4 years down the road. Like this dude's making $8 million in an NBA with a rising cap, and he could give $8 million in value this year. Like that's the crazy thing. Again, he is raw though, right? And that is kind of the issue. I did see someone say, Kokushibo said that game against the Hornets showed it, but also Wemby's Castle said again, our number one channel member, it's so cool seeing that badge by your name. By the way, the longer you're a channel member, that badge is changing colors. If you guys are familiar with 2K My Team, the longer you stay, starts to, you get to bronze, silver, gold, but then you get into that emerald, ruby, sapphire, ruby, all that good stuff, all the way up to diamond. So thank you for being here. He said exactly. He's a spot up shooter. He isn't a generate your shot yet. He's like Bruce Bowen so far. And he said seeing Rockets' issue with Fred VanVleet situation is why you keep all Fox, Castle, and Harper. So we'll get into that in a second. But I agree too. Like that's one thing we said a lot about Carter Bryant, Keenan, is like the dude was asked to do so much in summer league, right? He was asked to create, which is not what he even did in college. Like the dude averaged like 7 a game in college. Like he was not an on-ball scorer, but he was kind of expected to do it a bit. And honestly, his field goal percentage wasn't great, but for what he was asked to do, he did a decent job. In the NBA, he won't have to do that. And I think when we see a Carter Bryant who is more of a spot-up shooter, it's going to look a lot better. But what do you think about quick note before we, again, dive into Wemby in this top 5 and a bit of Giannis before we end things off? We got to dive into the Rockets here. Of course, Fred VanVleet, the horrible situation where he tore his ACL. So that's why you keep all Fox, Castle, and Harper. Now, yeah, but again, prayers out to Fred VanVleet. Like I saw that there from you, and I agree. Like it just sucks. Kevin Durant, bad luck. I mean, anyway, but it's brutal. I don't know if you can. I understand the idea of like wanting to keep these guys in case of injury. I don't think you can ever like build a roster anticipating injury, but I definitely agree with the point. It's like you can never have too many skilled young guys. You can never have too many skilled guys, especially if they're on reasonable contracts. And I think that's where it comes down to, right? Again, like Harper and Castle on these small rookie scale deals. It really sucks when injuries happen. But again, when you do and you have a good insurance plan, that's what makes your team great. Like even if it's a 3-week injury, let's say De'Aaron Fox pulls a hammy or something, right? You have so many guys back there. It doesn't need to be as grave as a torn ACL. So I agree on the one hand. I don't think you can't anticipate. You can't build a roster anticipating injuries, but what you can do is keep depth, keep your salary cap structure nice and neat with good deals, and I think that's where the Spurs are going to thrive, especially if we look 2-3 years from now.
It will be really hard to keep year 4 Dylan Harper if he progresses the way we think he does, and year 5 Stephon Castle and De'Aaron Fox. That's going to be hard because all 3 of those guys probably should be playing 33 plus minutes a game.
Wow.
You might be able to finagle a lineup where Castle at the 3, Harper at the 2, Fox at the 1, and you make it work, whatever. That's difficult. Right now, though, that's where you're able to keep it. You're able to keep it because we don't know exactly what Harper is. We have potential to understand what Castle could be. We don't know what Castle is yet. And Fox obviously is a sure thing that we understand what De'Aaron Fox is in the NBA. So you keep it because if something does happen, you still have talent behind them. And that's the great thing about getting depth, why you want to go 9, 10 deep. But you can't plan for injuries.
No.
Like that's you can try to prevent them, but you can't plan for them. So like Wemby getting other bigs to help prevent them, so Wemby doesn't have to put 38, 40 minutes on his body every single night. You can get Luke Cornett, Kelly Olynyk, still have Jeremy Sochan, still have Harrison Barnes, so he can take some nights he can have 32 minutes. But you can't also be like, well, Wemby's going to get injured, so we got to do X.
Yeah.
Like that, you can't get in that mindset. So it's kind of back and forth between that. It's trying to find the balance.
Yeah, and I think we're doing a good job already. And as Wemby Castle points out, Fox will be expiring by Harper year 5. And it's like having that transition, I think, is very valuable too. Like, I think people are thinking Harper's going to be upset, maybe partially because of what his dad has been saying and stuff. But like, at the end of the day, you get to learn from Castle and you get to be there with Wemby. And like, who's to say Harper isn't getting 30 minutes a night anyway and splitting time with Fox? By the time Harper gets to year 5, again, those contracts will kind of offset each other in a way, right? You see Dylan Harper there, like, yeah, Fox's extension is going to be there, but like it's going to work out very well, I think, in terms of cap structure and in terms of our lineup and how the team is built.
Yeah.
So really good stuff. They also got the Y'all Can't Guard Me podcast in the chat saying, hold up, build the roster. The team doesn't need to be in the second apron for a player with a physical play style. Oh, that's about Giannis. Well, I might bring that back up when we get to Giannis. But he also said, I like closing a lineup of Harper, Fox, Castle, Wemby, and Cornette. Oh, my goodness. That is an interesting one. We got 3 guys who are just nasty at getting to the rim and 2 guys that are insane at protecting the rim. No spacing, but like, hey, Wemby can. Cornette used to shoot threes. Don't think he can anymore. I mean, I love that, Keenan, not only just because of this idea of a closing lineup, but because the Spurs, again, have so much versatility in their closing lineups with all of these guys.
Yeah, the Cornette piece is the one that you rotate.
Yeah.
Because you have the ability to, if you're playing maybe Jokic or you're playing the Thunder, yeah, Cornette can be there at that 5, still let Wemby roam a bit. But if you're playing, say, the Warriors, just to use a Draymond example, you don't need Cornette and Wemby on the floor. Yeah. So that's where you can be like, okay, we'll throw Harrison Barnes in, or hey, we'll throw in whoever. That's the thing that's great with the Spurs is they have their own set lineups that are going to work, but then they have lineups to counteract yours. They have both to work, and it starts with the alien, and then you go from there. So I'm super happy about that.
Yeah, it's going to be unreal. So yeah, great point there. I was like, there's so much good to be talking about this team. You know what? Let's dive in. We got to get into some stuff here now. Let's dive into the Wemby stuff because I think this is something we've been waiting on. This is the big thing we're teasing. Like, again, a huge shift is coming. ESPN, for as much as they didn't really show some love to Fox, to Castle, to Vassell, as you guys seem to indicate in the chat as well, we think those guys should be higher. Victor Wembanyama at number 5, I think is, I don't want to say too high, and I got something else to show in a minute, but I think this is about right. Like, I think that looking at what Wemby can do this year, if that's what you're taking into account, which I think they have to be, because if you're not, and you're looking at last season where he only played 40-something games, you might be like, oh, well, what if, even though there's no indication that injury will have any impact? Regardless, they have him as number 5. They said he looks like he's ready to roll. San Antonio Spurs visited the Ingram Tom Moore High School, area hit hard by the floods, and back in July, Wemby led the team through an abbreviated workout in front of the students. Wemby looked great. He looked unreal, off the backboard, slammed to himself. We know what Victor Wembanyama is capable of doing. We know what this guy is capable of doing. He got the whole world in his hands. That's what's going to happen. And that's what he's going to do. And being number 5 on this, Keenan, like, this is elite status. The people above him are all MVPs and also Luka. And, like, so it's like, what is it? It's who's above him? It's Giannis, it's Jokic, it's
at
SGA,
1,
right?
Shea 2, Luka 3, Giannis 4.
Giannis 4. And then it's Wembanyama. And you know what? And I think it's not crazy. I think it's really not crazy because Victor Wembanyama, this is the thing that I think completely changes how we look at the San Antonio Spurs. And it's why we say there's a shift. You can feel my energy picking up when I talk about this guy because we almost don't know, but that's like the best thing, right? Like, leave your thought, like, okay, first off, there's going to be some polls coming up here, so get ready for these polls. Should Wemby be higher than 5th best in the NBA? And I'm curious to see what this poll says. Go vote on the poll. Because, like, his impact, I think, Keenan, this is my hot take. This guy, I don't know if it's a hot take. I think Wemby has a real shot at winning MVP this year as long as the San Antonio Spurs finish above 6th in the Western Conference. I think below that, and you're a play-in team, I think you're going to have a hard time convincing voters. Russell Westbrook won the MVP, averaging a triple-double when he was the 6th seed. I think the Spurs could easily get the 6th seed, or even maybe a bit higher, but I think the sheer numbers that Wemby is going to have, he is going to win Depoy. I'm just going to say that now. He's going to win Defensive Player of the Year, and he could legit put up like 27, 12, and 4 blocks. How do you say a guy with those numbers and that defensive impact is not your MVP? Unless you have, again, insane like Jokic stuff. But like, that's what I'm saying, dude. Like, I think there's a world his impact is actually higher than 5th best. I think he could have like a top 3 impact in the entire NBA. I don't think it's crazy to have him above Giannis this year. In fact, I might even say that he's going to do it. Am I too high on Wemby? I don't think so. I think this is a real chance, and that's what I'm getting into here, man. Like, I think the world of Wemby, and I legit see like a future potential greatest of all time when I see him, and I don't care if I sound biased. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it.
You can sound biased, doesn't matter. I mean, like, there's no reason why two-time MVP, 2-time champion, multiple-time Defensive Player of the Year, multiple-time All-Star, all NBA's everything. Does that sound regular? Does that sound like something he could do?
Wemby?
Like that? Easy, right?
Oh, yeah.
That's Hakeem Olajuwon.
Yeah.
That's a top 12 player of all time.
Yeah.
Like, so, like, that's the thing. That's the thing. So, like, when it comes to Wemby, impact-wise this year, he can have more of an impact on the game than Luka. He can have more of an impact on the game than Giannis. He's not going to probably have more of an impact than Jokic because Jokic is special.
Yeah.
But obviously, on both sides, if you put both of them together, you could argue, but Jokic is so potent offensively, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But like at 5, it's interesting to see him rank ahead of Steph, ahead of LeBron, ahead of Jalen Brunson, ahead of KD.
Mm-hmm.
These guys who had, other than KD, done it in the playoffs last season. But I get it, and I love it. And MVP-wise, Nikola Jokic also won the MVP as a 6th seed in 2022.
Yeah.
It's not, and that wasn't the triple-double season.
Yeah.
So it was a guy who would showcase how great he is at basketball for a team. And the Spurs, people don't have the Spurs really being a high seed. They think that they have talent, but they don't think that they're a high seed, and this is the collective, not myself. They get to a 5 or a 4 seed easily, he's easily going to be in the MVP conversation. Because why wouldn't he be? Yeah. Luka hasn't won one yet, so that's a guy who is going to be in that conversation. Anthony Edwards as well. Shea just won last year, probably won't get it. Jokic is 3, probably won't get it. But also, we never know. Wemby is easily going to be in that conversation this year, next year, the year after that, the year after that, year after that, and then continuing on. He will be in the conversation every year he's healthy for the next decade easy.
Yeah, and like, you know, the one caveat, I guess, is, I don't know if it's a caveat, but like, voters, they look at offensive numbers more than anything. Like, because defensive numbers don't have pretty stats minus blocks and steals. And even then, Wemby's going to be like number 1 in the league in blocks, probably, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like,
oh, yeah.
But, like, voters, how do you quantify defensive impact, right? Like, you can say Rudy Gobert is amazing on defense, but, like, it's hard to see. Like, I feel like people, if you're, like, an A++ on offense and a D at defense, people will rather vote that for MVP than an A on offense and A on defense, or even A+ on offense and A on defense, because it's, like, it's just that this instinctive feeling of look at those big numbers. But I think Wemby is again going to change the game. We see it like he has that rare, I call it anti-gravity, right? And it happens in all kinds of different sports where like people go, there's whole videos on YouTube you can go watch of people going at Wemby and just backing out. He has an anti-gravity around the rim that really only the greatest rim protectors of all time have had. Gobert has it to some extent. Wemby has it to another level because of his speed and his length. Even a guy like Wemby, let's be honest, he got caught out of position multiple times this year. You could see it, right? He's anticipating plays maybe a bit too early, jump, but his hips could swivel, he could move, he could turn, and he could recover faster than anyone else in the NBA. There is no player in the history of the league that can move the way he does on defense, so he can make up for his own shortcomings, which is what makes him even greater. And I want to look at the chat here, because a lot of you guys are, I love how it's split here, right? Which is great. Y'all can't guard me saying that he was robbed of the greatest sophomore season of all time. Absolutely. And some people are saying, look, Hotline Bling saying, not crazy at all what I'm saying. But then we also have crazy talk coming from CJ, right? So there's some back and forth here, right? And I really like this. Kokushibo saying, honestly, as much as I love him, 5 is perfect for him, but I won't count him out. And I think that's about where I land, Keenan. Like, I think it would be hard, very difficult for me to say, yes, objectively, Wemby should be higher than 5. I think 5, like, I'm surprised they gave him that high. Looking at the players above him, Wemby doesn't have the accolades. Not yet, right? Like, he just doesn't. And that's okay. I'm just saying, I think eventually he could get higher. I think 5 for now is good. Y'all can guard me saying, I think we'll be better than Warriors. I think we could be. Randy saying, I feel like Wemby will be very, very hungry this year. He will surpass all of our expectations. To get the muscle he's been getting, he had to be eaten, Keenan. This dude is looking jacked. He's looking ripped. Like, this is what I'm saying. Like, Gobert is trash. IMO, LOL. I mean, I like watching some defense. Gobert is definitely not very good on offense. I think he gets maybe overhated, but I also don't find him to be particularly amazing. His defense is pretty crazy. But, yeah, Hotline Blink saying he went to the temple and he's 7'5". And, it's crazy. As someone said here in chat, where's that chat there? Kokushibo. It's crazy that we can see a 21-year-old can be a top 5 player. And that is the thing. Again, we talk about how good Wemby is, Keenan. The dude is not even 22 yet. He doesn't turn 22 for another few months. And I think that just puts a cap on this whole thing. Like, 5 is... I'm surprised they gave him that high, but I can't deny it. And, like, I think he could be even higher by this time next season. And that's just how much hype and hope I have in this beautiful man right here, this beautiful Frenchman.
I know. I have him behind me, too. And that's the thing about Wemby is... That's why he got the LeBron comparisons, not because of play style, but because when LeBron was 21 and going into year 3, you were like, oh, this guy's just coming off putting up 28 plus a game. Like, golly. So in his first game ever, 25, 5-5, I think, or something along those lines against the Sacramento Kings. You're like, okay, this is the guy. And Wemby's the same thing where you look in second week in, he's playing Kevin Durant for the second time and 37, putting up like closing out games, and you're like, okay, I get it, like whatever. He himself, obviously they had Yabusele playing well in that game, they had other players playing well in that game, but led by Wemby, it took an all-time 3 minutes from Steph Curry to put away that guy, and that was on the same court with LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Joel Embiid, Devin Booker, Jason Tatum, everybody there. And it took that guy there, made Steph have to do one of the greatest things in Olympic basketball history. Like, that's how good this man is already.
Yeah.
And the thing that gets me too is after that game, obviously you don't want to see anyone cry or anything, but like the emotion that he has and the fact that he's like, the world should be scared in 2028 for the Olympics and for the league. And it's the passion that he has behind it. He wants to be the best. He wants to be the face. He wants to be great. Anthony Edwards doesn't want it. Wemby says, let me take it. I'll go be that. And that's what makes it so great to watch and see, because Wemby wants to be that great. And as Giannis said, he's got next. It's his, like, if he wants a league, it's his league. If you want to get a memorabilia, I'd want his memorabilia. Just saying.
Just saying.
That
hey,
just saying.
Is it a coincidence? It might be. I don't know. I think it's anyway. But you're absolutely right. Like, again, we talk about this. The guy could be a future GOAT. Like, it's absolutely ridiculous what he's been doing. And I want to touch on this as well. There was an article talking about the most overrated NBA players on ESPN's top 100 list by Sean Keane, and they do have Wemby. Wemby is the 5th most, not the 5th most overrated, but is one of the 5 players that is most overrated. I think they had Scotty Barnes in there and a couple other guys. But they said there's no denying Wemby's massive potential. The 21-year-old led the NBA in blocks last season in just 46 games. That's still absolutely friggin' ridiculous. Like, anyway, ridiculous. He led them in total blocks in 46. After missing the second half of the season with DVT, he made his first All-Star team average 11 rebounds, 3.1 three-pointers. As someone in chat there, Martian Murray, pointed out, he averaged more blocks than assists, and I think that's going to be something that continues, and I still think he's going to average like 4 assists a game for his career. Like, so, some people think he's overrated. Some people think he's underrated. The poll in the chat, Keenan, 23 votes, 12 of them said he shouldn't be higher than 5, 11 of them said he should be. This is where we should be. That means he's perfectly ranked. I think he's perfectly ranked. I think we all agree that, like, the potential is higher, but can we really have him higher right now? Hard to say. Probably not, right? Like,
Yep.
I don't think he has the accolades. So I think that's absolutely bang on. We got Wemby's Castle. Again, for the record, we do priority. For those of you that are channel members or that donate via Super Chat, we will read your chats in priority order. So that's why we're getting to Wemby's Castle, the first ever channel member on the channel. Hey, if you want to become one too, there's a button down below that you can become a member and support us. So thank you so much. We do not expect that, by the way. Just an extra option. Really big thank you. Saying Wemby's Olympic performance against USA reminded me of Manu versus USA in 04. He also said Chet Holmgren should be number 1 overrated. I think Holmgren is good. I don't think he's as good as almost anyone makes him out to be. But I completely agree. I mean, this guy here, where is he? Manu Ginobili. You can see the Argentinian flag. I mean, absolutely. Like, Wemby, and this is just the first, Keenan. That's just the first peek at what he's going to do at the Olympic levels. I mean, anyway, there's so much we can talk about, the potential that Wemby shows. But yeah, at the end of the day, this guy is going to go out there. He's going to put on performances that you literally have not been able to see in the history of watching basketball with what he does on the court.
He's you get a loss for words with how
Yeah.
good this man is going to be, and the thing about the thing that we never mention when talking about roster construction, he is 15% of roster construction now going forward. Players, like, if we have to make a move, players are going to be like, well, yeah, there. AJ DeBonce is like, yeah, I kind of want to play with that guy.
I like
already.
him.
Like just like little things like that. Giannis's comments, not just to bring him because of that, like those are the comments that you see, and you're like, oh, okay, people want to play with that guy. And because of that, that's like Cooper Flag said, like, people want to play with him. So you're going to see people in the future be like, oh, okay, well, I have the option to do this, but I also could play with Wemby, so let's go do that. So you're going to see that's going to be part of the roster construction, which also makes me think, too, go win now because you'll be able to orchestrate things later because of him already. So, yeah, no, I just get...
I get
the
excited
thought
too.
of it makes me happy.
Yeah, absolutely, me too. And you know what? You mentioned Giannis, and I think that's the big thing. And we see a lot of people, I think, are excited to talk about Giannis today. So we got to talk about it. I know you mentioned it in your video yesterday, Keenan. It's doing well. And like, Giannis is the big name we all want to talk about because of what he recently said. And again, he likes Wemby. I want to preface this though by saying I still don't think this is likely. I don't think a trade for Giannis is likely. But Giannis has opened the door himself. And as Spurs fans, as we've been linked to Giannis so many times, and you know, with the KD sweepstakes, it's like, I really don't think it's impossible for the Spurs to go after him, right? At least to check in. So let's take a look again at what he said recently. So let's bring this up full screen. He said, sure, actually we'll go here. Look, I hope it never happens, talking about a trade, but I'm expecting it to. That's the wrong two. I took this from an article, but anyway, whatever. Just because you've given a lot to the team doesn't mean the team won't do what's best for itself. It's not always the same owners, and when I say owners, the team presidents now, they're not the same. Well, I guess governors is the name, but anyway, they're not the same as when we won the championship. It's something else. And he went on to say, sure, if my head were in the clouds, I'd say, no way I get traded. I'm Giannis Antetokounmpo, because I'm not in the clouds, and I'm very normal, grounded. I say anything is possible. You never know. When that Luka trade happened, it wasn't just me who was shocked. Anyone who watches basketball was shocked. The Luka trade has fundamentally changed how superstars view ownership, how they view their general managers, how they view the trade landscape of the NBA, Keenan. And when we're looking at that Luka trade, I feel like it makes everything seem possible. And, you know, that is one of the outliers in NBA history. But again, like, if the price is not ridiculous, you just can't help but wonder. The guy who would love to play with Wemby, again, I'm not saying it'd be a good fit. I think it would destroy the way our cap looks. We would be a second apron team. It would be very difficult to maneuver around that if it doesn't work, especially since we already have a lack of shooting. But you just have to wonder, like, this could legit be something that happens. And I don't know. He's opened the door. He really has opened the door, and he hasn't really done it before. And this is why I think a lot of Spurs fans especially are locking in, honing in on what he's saying recently.
You can't make many bets in the world, but like when Kevin Durant went to the Warriors on July 4th, 2016, the NBA world was like, well, we know who the 2017 champion is going to be. And they were right.
Yeah.
They went 67-15 and waltzed their way to a championship. Why? They had such a great infrastructure, and they added a phenomenal player. And I understand they did that via free agency rather than having to do that in a trade like this would be. But we don't know if it would work, quote unquote, because like we don't know what the world is. Giannis and Wemby in the front court would work. I don't care what basketball universe, what era, what any. that in the lane alone people would not be able to score. The paint's on lockdown. You're not getting by us. If we don't want you to score at the basket, we don't want you to score at the basket. That's just how it's going to be. The package that people have suggested, insane. Then you're not going to mortgage the future for 4 to 5 years, Giannis. I absolutely agree with that. But if you have a point to leverage your now and still maintain a future and get Giannis, sign up in a heartbeat, because you right now become the second favorites in the Western Conference instantaneously. You give the respect to the Thunder because they did win 68 games last year. They won it all. Respect to them. But De'Aaron Fox is a tough portion because he would financially be able to make it easy, but you can't trade him until February 4th because of the deal that he signed. So, like, this isn't going to happen right this second.
No.
And no one expected it to happen right this second.
No.
But that's before the trade deadline. The Bucks, I explained this yesterday, I'll say it again. Bucks around a 5th, 6th seed because they're not that great. We are around the 5th, 6th seed because we are good, but we're missing just something. Trading Fox, a pick, a couple young pieces, depending on what you want to do to make it work contractually, and getting Giannis. Be Fox, Sochan, Vassell, a pick probably. Or maybe they want one of the 2 younger pieces if you can manage that. Like, we'd have to make it work, and you'd have to make it make sense. But realistically, younger pieces, Fox and Wemby, will get it done.
Yeah.
That is the 4th and 5th best player according to ESPN, and I think they're wrong because I think that Giannis is better than Luka. And by the end of the year, I think Wemby's probably going to be better than Luka. So, like, those are 2 of the 4 best players in the league. When you do that, you get championships. Wade, LeBron, Magic Kareem, Shaq, Kobe, Curry's Durant.
Yeah.
When you put 2 of the 4 best players together in the league, you get chips.
Oh, man.
Plural.
Yeah. You get not 6, not 7. No, well, okay, hold on. Let's
You get plural. You get a minimum of 2 if you're putting 2 of the 4 best players in the league together and they're healthy for multiple seasons. It's just how it works.
It is, and it's why it's like it's such a crazy thing. It's like, you know, fit be damned. Like, this could be something that, like, if that's possible, you almost have to try and do it. Now, I do see, like, we got Mattel Ria in chat saying they're not going to trade Fox, and it's like, we don't think they will. I don't think they will. I think Fox wants to be in San Antonio, but, like, how do you make the money work? There's other guys, and we got some suggestions like Wemby's Castle saying Giannis and Wemby, we like prime Robinson with prime Duncan if Duncan shot 3s regularly. It's like, you can make it work. You can now
the modern
different era
better than Duncan and Robinson because Robinson was on the back half of his career, and obviously Duncan was early. Duncan came in pretty much in his prime because he's Tim Duncan. But
guess who else is in the back half this time? It's Giannis, but he's like, but also Wemby is younger.
He's 30, 11, and 6.
Yeah, like, well, that's what I'm saying. Like, the dude is ridiculous.
30, 12, and 6.
Yeah.
In 34 minutes a game, shooting 60% from the floor.
So, like, again, you just force it to make it work. If this ever could come to fruition, and, you know, when we take a look at Wemby's Castle, and when you lead the league in blocks with 46 games played, how can you honestly argue anything less than top 5? Hey, well, I mean, again, some people really don't like defense. That's the thing. But they also suggested Devin, Barnes, Jeremy, or Keldon, plus 3 first and 4 to 5 second round picks for Giannis. And trading Fox doesn't make sense. It's a very horrible business move. He forced his way here. Trading him shows you forced your way here. We will trade you. And I think, again, yeah, there is emotional stuff and there is politics behind it. I think that,
of course.
Yeah, that would send a bad message to anyone that wants to come to the Spurs. Like, I want to come to the Spurs. You'll be expendable. That'd be a very cutthroat business decision. Some franchises do it. Can it lead to winning? Yeah, but is it really the best decision long term when you have Wemby? I don't think so. I think you want to make players feel welcome when they want to come here and play with him, which is why your other offer there, it's like, at what point does Milwaukee, like, would the Spurs be able to top other offers for Giannis, right? Because every single offer we're seeing, like, for the Spurs and Spurs fans to consider an offer fair for Giannis, like, we don't want to include Castle or Harper, right? And I think that's just the natural feeling. Like, we don't want to. But the Bucks would probably start at a minimum one of those guys plus, like, 3 first-round picks, right? So that's where I think this kind of breaks down. Like, how much would the Spurs be willing to piss off their fans and, like, you know, maybe even some of their players and get rid of young talent and mortgage the future a bit? Because, like, would the Bucks ever get into a position where the best offer is what San Antonio has? Or maybe you get another Fox situation where Giannis is like, I want to go to San Antonio and you can't stop me. I don't know, right? You start to wonder about these different scenarios.
a lot of teams don't have the financials for it.
Yeah.
So like you would either need a Boston Celtics to say, "Hey, here's Jaylen Brown, somebody else, and a couple picks," and they'd be like, "Okay, so we have a legitimate star
Yeah.
to go along with a couple picks and a couple young pieces." That would be the one path. The other path, honestly, in the realistic nature of it, Fox is most likely not going to be in the trade.
Mm-hmm.
It would most likely look like Dylan Harper, Jeremy Sohan, Devin Vassell, and picks, and then you might have to add in a third team to get financial compensation to them so everything works properly.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's how it have to kind of go about. You would keep Fox, Giannis, Wemby. You would want to keep Castle because I think he is more of a system fit, and Harper is more of a guy who could own a team, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I think you would. So as the Spurs, it would make more sense to keep Castle. For the Bucks, it would make more sense to get Harper.
Yeah.
So I think they would try to get Harper and probably even Carter Bryant too is what they'd try to probably do. And I think Carter Bryant would probably be the piece they try to finagle and talk to about there. But whatever the case may be, I could sit down and try to actually fully work out a trade, and I think it'd be great. But realistically, Giannis being in Milwaukee forever doesn't line up.
Yeah. No, it just
Like,
doesn't.
It doesn't line up. Kareem was in Milwaukee for a while, and then he had to go. I mean, there have been players who have been – there's been great players in Milwaukee, don't always have to say. He's been there great. He got them the championship, MVPs and everything. It will make sense. Giannis will play for another team, I believe, before his career is over. Will it be the San Antonio Spurs? Remains to be seen.
Remains to be seen. And I think, again, like I want to make a point that, like, I don't expect this to happen soon. I don't think because Giannis said this, it means a trade's going to happen. So I see some people saying, look, Spurs like to play the long game. They're most likely not going to do any more moves till mid-season. I completely agree. I don't think there's any reason to mess with this lineup and just not see what we have first and see where our real strengths and weaknesses are, and also gauge the landscape of the rest of the NBA. Because, look, Giannis is the big topic now, but you really never know, like, who else could become available. There are certain guys in the league that are absolutely perfect system fits for the Spurs. Trey Murphy, a guy that we've talked about so many times, right? Like,
yes.
This dude, Herb Jones. You never know how other teams are looking at their future, right? And as teams are way better or way worse than they expect, they might want to go out and make different types of moves. You don't know until midseason how GMs are evaluating their own teams and coaches, right? So these trades are not imminent. It's going to be something that comes a lot later. And so anyway, but that's what I'm excited to watch because, like someone else pointed out in chat earlier, the Spurs have shifted their mindsets. This Fox trade and then immediate max extension, like was like as soon as he could extend, he did. That is a shift in mindset. It's not something that might have happened a few years ago, right? Which is, I think, really interesting in terms of how the Spurs are operating now, that they see this window with Victor Wembanyama. That's what I love most about this. I think it's going to be good. And Wemby's Castle saying Castle's the better two-way player than Harper. If Giannis comes, It'll be Fox, Drew, Castle, Middleton, Giannis, Wemby, Lopez. Very interesting. Yeah, so you kind of got the comparables to that team. Very interesting, right? Again, Middleton is a better shooter. Wemby's probably, Lopez was a good shooter too. But Chris Barnett saying Milwaukee want more for the best player since Kareem. Castle, Harper, 3 first-round picks and some roster players is what it takes to even get him to pick up the phone. And so that's kind of what I'm thinking as well, right? Like, how much would it take for John Horst? But I think we're also exploring a world, Keenan, where, like, Milwaukee's on the outs, and they're like, we just got to get this done before we lose him for nothing.
That's the thing. He's got 2 years and then a player option.
Yeah.
There's no reason for him to opt into the player option on a team that he doesn't want to be in a place where he doesn't want. So the more the clock ticks, especially after midpoint of this year, once the trade deadline goes, it's going to be in a situation where he is going to continue further and further, and the value for Giannis is going to dwindle bit by bit.
Yeah.
Not to a point where it's going to be, oh my gosh, his value is nothing, but it'll get to the point where people have been like, well, why don't we just wait a year? If you can say 3 years of Giannis you can book, you trade for it.
Mm-hmm.
A year and a half, maybe you can wait. So that's going to be the interesting thing there to see.
There's going to be so many interesting things to see. I can't wait, and I know you guys can't wait either. We got so much Spurs basketball coming up, and hey, before we end this thing off, just wanted to make a point here to talk about the amazing shirts we've been wearing, because I'll be honest, I've been wearing this around my friends who aren't even Spurs fans, and they've been asking me, like, where we got this stuff. Like, look at this Manu t-shirt and this Wemby. Look at that Fox. So we're actually super pumped to talk because we just partnered with a company called Die Hard Addicts. And I'm not kidding. This is the best Spurs merch I've ever had. And usually it's like oh yeah, of course your partner with a company, you're gonna say that, but I'm not kidding. And Keenan, I know you can vouch for this as
It's
well.
not kidding.
Yeah,
And
no,
honestly, the way the material feels, like the print doesn't like stick out like it does on some shirts. It's clean. It's pressed to the shirt. It's actually very nice.
yeah,
100% cotton too. Like the
yes,
shirt's nice.
100% cotton, which is really uncommon. And anyway, again, I don't want this to be like this big thing, but like we are genuinely so excited that like
Truly.
this is Spurs Digest merch. You can go out and get this Harper sweater. This is a crew neck. This is a t-shirt. You can get this in a crew neck. You can get this in a t-shirt. You can get all this kind of stuff, and it looks like it's unreal. And so seriously, we've tried a ton of gear over the years. I bought stuff from the Spurs store. I even got this nice little Keldon Johnson jersey recently. That's from the official Spurs store, but I've never actually been like, I've never worn something out in public as much as I've been wearing this stuff. So look, the good thing is we got it pinned in chat. If you guys want to get this kind of stuff, we actually have a 10% off code. Like if you guys want to get this stuff just for watching the show, you get 10% off. It's pinned in the comments there. I'm going to paste it again. I think I should have it pasted there. Go check it out. Go check out Die Hard Addicts and use code Digest. Spurs Digest, baby. Code Digest. And yeah, you get 10% off. And we're so excited. Like, I know the season's right around the corner, and honestly, I've been waiting like for the moment to get this kind of thing. Again, I got this, and then I got my Die Hard merch. Anyway, I don't want this to feel like, oh my God, look, genuinely, and I know you can back me up on this. I know Brian will as well. Like, this stuff is awesome. Like, I'm wearing it out every day, and it's seriously awesome. I'm so glad like we can give 10% off for people just for watching this show.
And I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I honestly was a little bit because I saw the designs at first, and I was like, okay, those designs are dope. But typically, when designs are like that, the shirt material kind of suffers, and the shirt itself suffers because it like either feels bulky because you have to make the design. This doesn't feel heavy.
Yeah,
it feels nice. You can wear it. You can move. Like I don't feel like I'm a brick just like sitting here. So like that's the nice thing about this. Honestly, it's very nice, and there's much more than what we're seeing behind you on myself here. There's much more on there of a lot of Spurs stuff and other stuff as well. I 100% and code Digest get 10% off of it too. Why not?
Yeah, like seriously, why? Like anyway, it's unreal, and the quality's the biggest thing. Like this isn't some. I'm not gonna crap on Fanatics. Maybe someday, but like it's not Fanatics. Again, 100% cotton, and it's wonderful. It's printed on really, really well. And again, there's designs for other teams. There's lots of NFL. There's lots of NBA. There's even some baseball, like
music. They're like if you like Mac Miller or like other people, Chance the Rapper, like there's other things on there as well. So like if you just want to go look, Die Hard Addicts. Shout out to Die Hard Addicts. Absolutely.
Yeah, unreal stuff. So thank you so much, Die Hard Addicts. Yeah, we're so excited. This is a long-term thing. You're going to see this merch in lots of videos. So look, but you can be the exclusive first person to get this stuff. But Keenan, I think that's probably going to have to do it for this stream. And one last thing from Chris Bryant. I doubt Milwaukee would take a low ball offer, even if he tries to force his way. Milwaukee botches the Giannis trade, sets their franchise back. It sets them back a lot. The fans would turn on it as well. And I tend to agree. Again, I don't think it's likely, but I love to dream. And I think the Spurs, again, based on their aggressive attitude, I think basically never say never is kind of where I stand.
Yes, I 100% agree. Wemby is in a position right now to where the Spurs are like, oh my goodness gracious, we have the world is our oyster. We have opportunities. We got the second pick in the draft this year. We got De'Aaron Fox for a bag of chips. So like they're in such a position right now where they get to grow. One more thing I want to do. Shout out to Wemby Castle.
Oh yeah. Thank you.
Shout out Wemby Castle. First one. Let's go. Like, shout out. I love it. I love it. Thank you very much. We appreciate everything over here at Spurs Digest.
Unreal stuff. First channel member. We had a great donation. We had so many wonderful people in chat. Thank you for tuning in. We want to make this a regular thing. And hey, if you want to stay tuned for all things Spurs, we're so close to 10,000 subscribers. You guys have made us one of the most viewed Spurs channels. For a while, the most viewed Spurs channel on YouTube. And that's thanks to you guys. I mean, like, genuinely, we love chatting about the Spurs, as you guys know. We love having you guys here. We got videos coming every single day, ready for the season to go. And you know we'll be here. All the games, all the news, all the recaps every single day. This is your home for it. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Josh Gosse, my co-host, Keenan Warner. We'll catch y'all in the next one.